Manufacturing in the Spotlight. Over the next 30 minutes, the program Manufacturing in the Spotlight will address key issues and highlight important changes, with the support of UK manufacturers and contributors who have played a role in driving the industry and UK economy forward.
Speedboard provide contract electronics manufacturing services, known as CEM or EMS within the industry. So we are in essence the shop floor for our customers. Our customers will develop, design and market their products, but typically they won't have their own factory to produce it. They then subcontract out to companies like ourselves to produce it for them. We'll produce units, complete, finished, packed, ready to go, or just sub-assemblies tested, which our customer will then perhaps finish off into the unit and sell on. Speedboard was first formed by two gentlemen, Glyn Thurston and John Verity. It started off as a PCB fabricator. Very quickly thereafter we started producing contract assembly. This was born out from doing PCBs for Scion, and Scion wanting us to actually then produce the surface mount part of the assembly. Since then, the assembly side of the business has grown from strength to strength, and 10 years ago myself and Richard Watson did a buyout of the company, shutting down the PCB fabrication side, which was no longer viable, and now we solely concentrate on contract manufacturing. Speedboard's objectives, we have two. One is to be the best at what we do, and the market that we deliver is typically local. It's smaller volume, niche products, so it's quality and it's service. Our second objective is to grow the business. Now, these last few years has been harder because of the recession, but we have an aggressive strategy for the next 4 years to grow the business from where it is today up to between 12 and 15 million.
Emerge has been around for 10 years, starting off with just one person and now up to about 25 people. We provide the priority solution across the whole of the UK and also in Europe as well. We focus completely on the priority products because we believe that it is the best ERP product that there is on the marketplace. And so we install, we provide install, develop and support that for all of our customers throughout the UK. The biggest differentiator we have is the level of service that we provide to our customers. One of the things that we think is really important is the fact that all businesses are different from each other. Okay, so it's not a matter of one size fits all. So we've got an incredibly flexible and versatile product, which means that we as an organisation have to be incredibly flexible and versatile as well, because we focus completely on making sure that all of our customers have the system that fits their business exactly and not just out of the box. We operate across the whole of the UK. We've got our head office down on the south coast near Southampton. We've also got regional offices in the Midlands and in Manchester. We support the whole of the UK, but equally we also support customers in Europe as well.
Well, we're based here today at Wigton, which is in Cumbria, a market town, and it's our largest site and our global headquarters. We started film production here in 1933 in making cellulose films, better known as cellophane, and in 1971 we started production of polypropylene film on this site. In addition to Wigton, we also have operations in Australia, in Belgium and the USA. We employ 1,350 people worldwide. We make roughly 120,000 tonnes of film, and we have a turnover of 400 million euros, and we sell to over 100 countries around the world. In terms of products and services, our focus is on speciality films. We have a leading global position in our markets of choice, which are labels, security films, high-performance coated packaging, tobacco overwrap, and renewable and compostable films. Our films are sold to converters, brand owners and end users, and they are part of the packaging, labelling or overwrap solution for some of the world's best-known brands across a wide variety of everyday consumer goods. And this includes things like chocolates, perfume, cheese, tea bags, shampoo, cigarettes, beer and biscuits. Our main objectives as Innovia Film is to be recognised as a leading value-added speciality film supplier and a supplier of choice through innovation, quality products, exceptional service and strong relationships.
Grainger & Worrall was founded back in 1946 by my grandfather and his brother-in-law, hence the name Grainger and Worrall. In that time, the company was set up to support the local foundry industry as pattern makers. We are now in third generation ownership and management. Myself and two elder brothers run the company, and we are some 350 people strong. And our primary business is castings. We are a foundry, and we're producing castings in both aluminium and iron. The associated services to that we offer are upfront design for manufacture, design support, through tooling, producing tooling and rapid prototypes, then on to casting and machining, and then actually pulling that all together in also consulting. Grainger and Worrall's main objective, like any organisation, is to make profit. We look to make that in a sustainable way, and we do that through value-added manufacturing.
Predominantly, the industries we're working with are automotive-based, albeit not exclusive. Within automotive, you might imagine car companies, some of the motorsport activities. Some are less obvious things like power generation, perhaps aerospace. These are all sort of dealing with the same kind of products like you will find most commonly in automotive. Within the automotive area, it's primarily powertrain, that's to say the engine and the gearbox. This is the part of the vehicle, this is the part of the engineering sector that challenges us the most, and it fits very well with our idea of a high-value manufacturing strategy.
As a consequence of the ongoing recession and retrenchment of the financial sector, government and policymakers are paying greater attention to manufacturing and showing more appreciation for the key contribution it makes to the economy and employment.
There's two major factors that's affecting manufacturing at the moment. One, of course, is the short term, the state of the economy. And that is bound to be having an effect on certain companies. But that's very much a short-term issue. The longer-term issue, perhaps, is what's happening about manufacturing migrating from the UK to other parts of the world. And that's more to do with the fact that we're getting UK PLC is getting out of some of the low-value manufacturing that's going abroad. And that should be supplemented quite naturally by other people starting up higher value manufacturing organisations to take its place. So yeah, some of the traditional industries in the UK may be going down a bit, but they need to be replaced by others, and I believe they will be. The recession has had quite a significant impact on manufacturing industry, but I think what you'll find is that the natural, if you like, natural selection is occurring. So in other words, you will always have organisations that are undercapitalised and operating closer to the limit. So therefore, any time you get a recession come along, those organisations are going to go. However, they will be replaced by new startups coming along, and also their competitors who are better placed will pick up the slack. The demand, so long as the demand is still there, and I think in general that's holding up, then there's no reason why there should be any long-term effects really to the recession.
There is a view that manufacturing industry in the UK is in terminal decline. I disagree with that. Yes, it's tough, but it is not terminal. The key for manufacturing industry is to adapt and evolve, to have good leadership and good management, and to focus on areas where we can be differentiated across the world. UK manufacturing industry has been in general decline, but clearly there are exceptions to that. We are affected by the rise of the emerging economies, which are both opportunities for UK manufacturing, but of course are threats. And there is, from a political point of view, a lack of support for manufacturing.
The recession for Grainger and Worrall has had obvious impacts of clients wanting less goods, less development, and therefore in a period of what was the recession, we saw certainly a downturn, and we had to cut the cloth accordingly. However, coming out of the recession, that stored up need for goods, products and development has really seen us accelerate out of that time, that leaner time. And everybody's a lot more determined, a lot more focused, and I think the companies are a lot stronger for that. Maybe weaker companies have moved aside and stronger companies have got stronger and have looked to innovate and have looked to develop themselves out of that period in time.
The UK is as well placed as anybody to meet that demand. It will not compete probably on cost alone, but what the UK does have is a wealth of knowledge and the ability to get product and services into market very, very quickly and effectively. So I think the UK does have a long-term future, but it does require commitment and determination and no small degree of bravery on behalf of companies like Grainger and Worrall. It requires investment and a belief and training in its people in order to break through.
Well, I feel there's been a significant shift in what manufacturing suits the UK. Certainly within our industry, we've seen the big players shift out to the low-cost regions, such as the Far East and Eastern Europe. But it doesn't mean that there isn't manufacturing left. And we are a shining example of that. Business in the last 10 years has gone from strength to strength and continues to grow. So I think it's more about finding a niche, a service that's required for the UK, and developing that. The recession has certainly had an impact on the UK. You only have to listen to the news to see that. Here at Speedboard, we were impacted, as I said, about 3 years ago. We saw a significant drop in our workload. Fortunately, we haven't seen any customers fail or disappear. All we saw was a significant amount of destocking, orders slowing down, and consequently we had to slow down what we were doing to compensate for the change in the market conditions. Now, work is certainly back on the up. We're seeing most of our customers returning back to the volumes they were 3 years ago, and although I'm not confident enough to say we are out of recession, there certainly seems to be a return back to confidence and growth.
It is clear that the traditional view of manufacturing as production alone is obsolete through an effective partnership and support. It is ready to be replaced by a new model. The changing structure and scope of the UK manufacturing sector has placed it at the cutting edge of global innovation, providing unique opportunities to establish leadership across sectors and industries.
We focus on our unique process technology footprint, our understanding of polymer properties, our innovative surface coating technology, and of course our focus on chosen markets. In addition, we have unique technologies and we have some very special market positions and customer relationships. And it is those three things that make our position unique. In my view, innovation is critical to the future of UK manufacturing. We don't operate in a low-cost country, so it is critical that we have special products, unique products, everything that comes through innovation. The status quo is not acceptable. We will not survive with the status quo, therefore we must change. And we change through product and process development, through developing our products and services, and on things that are new or improved or even lower cost. So our future is around adapting, and innovation is part of that. The challenge, of course, is the words I've just used are very easy to say. The challenge, of course, is to bring them into action. Difficult economic times certainly represent challenges for companies. Not only do you see a tough economic environment, we also see significant growth in competition, and we also see high input costs. And that's because the world is not in recession. So although the developed economies are slowing down, the developing economies are still strong, which leads to high global commodity costs. And we also see exchange rate volatility, which is particularly important in export markets, which is a significant part of what we do.
Innovation is key for UK manufacturing. Mass volume has disappeared off to the low-cost regions. So here in the UK, we have to develop products, services to be of the highest quality, to be pushing the boundaries of where we are in manufacturing. That is probably the only way that the UK industry will survive. We can't compete on price, so therefore we need to compete on technology and being that one step ahead. Transferring knowledge from one industry to another is essential within manufacturing. I think within what we do here at Speedboard, we certainly have shifted our attitude from being a manufacturer to a service industry. Albeit we build products, have to deliver good quality. People like doing business with people. So we have learned from the service sector to actually produce a service to our customers that actually makes us that one step ahead of people who just see themselves just as a manufacturer producing a product.
If you keep within one industry and just keep to the same ideas in that industry, then it all gets very incestuous and you don't get any new ideas coming in. You'll find with a lot of manufacturing industry, if you look back 50 years, they were operating in a certain way. However, a lot of that industry has now learnt a lot of lessons from some of the other up-and-coming industries like media, etc., because they're moving a lot faster, and it's very important that you get this cross-breeding of ideas from one industry to another.
Innovation in modern manufacturing is absolutely everything. If one takes the place of being a leader in an industry, then in order to progress, there are very few peers that you can actually compare and copy. So innovation is everything for your future survival. Actually, innovation is fun. It's good. It gets people to think out of the box. It gets people to take some risks, and these are things that are good. Done properly, innovation can allow you to make step changes in your capabilities, whether it's in terms of the services you provide or the investments you make in complementary technologies. We at Grainger & Worrall, for example, have invested in technologies more commonly seen in the medical industry, in CT scanning. So it's a fantastic innovation which has allowed us to increase our capabilities in our marketplace. There's an example of where innovation has been thought through and has produced a good return. High-value manufacturing for us is what Grainger & Worrall is about. It's ethically very, very good. There's a long-term future in personal transport. We're involved at the front end, and a lot of the development that you will see within Grainger & Worrall isn't about the absolute pursuit of power and things. It's often about the greening of the world. It's about making better products, lighter, stronger, more efficient.
IT solutions and lean manufacturing techniques have supported companies in driving up performance and efficiency. Only a stronger, globally focused and diverse economy will enable the UK to generate the wealth needed to correct the UK's economic imbalances and achieve broader national prosperity. The UK's economic future is therefore inextricably linked to the development of strong UK manufacturing base that's open to global markets, increasingly focused on knowledge and high value and capable of exploiting fast-growing markets. Put simply, the UK needs to focus its scarce resources and provide clear long-term support for manufacturing in order to stimulate and encourage the production of goods and services that allow the UK to pay its way in the world. For a diverse economy to thrive, it is vital that manufacturing makes a greater contribution to growth. Manufacturers must therefore continue to evolve, adapt and grow. UK manufacturers have improved their competitiveness, productivity and global reach.
Okay, so how can we maintain sustainability in our manufacturing industry? This is all about making sure that we get lots of fresh blood into manufacturing industry. That means encouraging youngsters into manufacturing, and also getting people to have the enthusiasm to start up new companies, because manufacturing industry in the UK, the big bulk of it is in the mid-market. Okay, yes, there are some very big manufacturers, but there are some very small manufacturers as well, and the greatest part of the wealth that's generated within the UK is in the mid-market. Okay, and those companies that are in the mid-market, they started off as very small companies once, we can encourage that, then we can make sure that the whole of manufacturing industry is a lot more sustainable.
We would like to think that manufacturing is an important part of the UK economy. Sadly, I feel that consumers, businesses and the state of the world is overly focused on price. It makes it harder for manufacturing to deliver something that's good quality, best service. Because of that, we've seen massive amounts of manufacturing disappear from our shores to the lower cost regions. I don't think that Britain as a whole is focused on buying British when you compare it to the States and Europe, where there's a bigger push to buy within your own country. So I think we have a tough target to achieve any sort of growth in the UK within manufacturing. I do think it's vitally important that we have a decent manufacturing sector.
In my view, a strong and vibrant manufacturing industry in the UK economy is absolutely critical. It is part of the wealth creation. It's a significant contribution to the UK economy. It's a very significant contribution to the communities in which we operate, and gives good employment and good training and skill opportunities in terms of developing people. One of the challenges to UK manufacturing is how to compete internationally and also how to maintain a high level of credibility. In terms of competing internationally, I often think of the words of Digby Jones when he was Director General of the CBI, when he talked about the UK having to compete through its brains, not its brawn. So we have to be flexible, we have to adapt to change, we have to respond to changing dynamic markets and customer demands. And to do that, we have to invest in innovation, in equipment, and in people to differentiate ourselves from our competitors. And in terms of credibility, we have to continue to produce quality products and quality service.
I take great pride on Sunday morning turning on the television to watch the F1 race and seeing there that we as a company, as Grainger and Worrall, have made a significant contribution to that, but moreover, the UK manufacturing is supporting that. I mean, it's a tremendous showcase for innovation, speed, technology, and what British manufacturing can do. It would be fantastic if a high-level government minister could share the same passion and enthusiasm for engineering and manufacturing as Grainger and Worrall does, and I'm sure others do in manufacturing in the UK.
Early indications are that UK manufacturing is rising to the challenges and opportunities in front of them, particularly in making greater use of intangibles to add value. It is up to businesses to secure their own success by restructuring their operations to benefit from innovative technologies. UK manufacturers no longer compete on price or volume, focusing instead on a broad range of value-adding strategies. They have found their niche in global markets and differentiated themselves through a combination of innovation and design, production, capacity, flexibility, and customer service.
We have what I consider to be a cultural legacy, that getting your hands dirty and working in industry is not seen as the most desired profession for particularly some of the top brains in the country. So we have a legacy culture against manufacturing. But the thing we need to do is to support innovation and support its commercialisation. As a nation, we have been very innovative, but very often have left the commercialisation of that innovation to take place elsewhere in the world. And of course, we do need support in terms of better infrastructure in the UK, whether that be energy infrastructure, which is a serious challenge for the country, or skills development in areas like science and engineering.
Post-recession, Grainger and Worrall has taken the decision to be bold, to invest. There is a program investment going on around that you can see in technologies. So over my shoulder, we've got some very fantastic technologies in our industry. It's not limited to hardware. We're investing heavily in our people. We have a growing apprentice scheme. We are very closely allied to the universities and certain research establishments around the world. And we're hoping to attract good quality individuals to bring knowledge and future prosperity and ultimate sustainability to this business.
Finding a niche within our market has absolutely been essential for Speedboard's success. Mass volume has disappeared to the Far East, so we've left with trying to carve out a part of contract manufacturing here in the UK that suits SMEs. We've managed to do that successfully by focusing on low volume, high tech, and to some degree high maintenance customers.
We're always making sure that we're listening 100% to what our customers are saying to us about what they want us to do, what they want us to do with our software, how they want us to work, but just as important as that, it's all about actually acting on that as well.
We've been using Priority now for 5 years. I think we're just coming up for 5 years, so the process has been 6 months prior to that, I think, through the implementation process. So yeah, it's certainly seen some changes with our business.
We utilise a large portion of the Priority system. It's a modular system which we make the most use, I would say, out of the MRP and purchase planning element. We're able to utilise the MRP module of the system to ensure efficient and accurate planning of our production.
Staff in manufacturing, skills within manufacturing are on the wane. With the big manufacturers disappearing offshore, that pool of people certainly aren't available in our area, and for my colleagues within the industry, I know it's the same in other areas. So it's absolutely key that we can train staff coming from schools, colleges, universities into manufacturing, teach them the skills, get them the experience, and start building up our workforce again from the bottom up.
What we could expect from our trainees and apprentices, and we span the whole gamut of points of entry for our young people, is that in return for hard work and enterprise, there will be an opportunity to go through the company in any direction as far as they can take themselves. We're very much into people relationships. So our trainees and apprentices, if they are prepared to put in the hard work for us, Grainger & Worrall is very prepared to put in the hard work for them.
The training, it's very full on. You learn a lot in a short amount of time, but you can always get the help if you need it.
The government could make apprenticeship schemes more available for younger people.
There's a real challenge in inspiring the next generation of manufacturers. Part of that is around the culture in the UK, where often manufacturing is seen as perhaps not the best profession to join. Having said that, there is a great excitement in the product. Actually making things is things that we are proud of. And that, I think, is the biggest single excitement of manufacturing, and that is a message that we need to get across to people.
Well, it gives you the qualification to set you on your way for the rest of your life. Can give you more opportunities along the way.
It gives us more hands-on experience, which in some areas is easier to put into context with what you're learning, really.
Historically, apprenticeships have been incredibly important to the manufacturing industry. Over the past 10-15 years, of course, we've seen a decline of them in the UK, but I'm glad to see that they are making a comeback now. It's incredibly important to get youngsters into industry and teaching them the skills that they need to do that. And it's also nice to see that it's not just manufacturing industry that's making use of apprenticeships now. We as a software company are taking apprenticeships on a regular basis as well.